So as we all knows that baking soda also we can call, what is the scientific name of baking soda? Everybody? Yes, please. So baking soda we used to call as, tell me, what is
Sodium hydrogen.
Sodium bicarbonate.
yeah, sodium bicarbonate, or we used to call it as sodium hydrogen.
Hydrogen carbonate.
Hydrogen carbonate.
Yeah, sodium hydrogen carbonate. So, or bicarbonate. So we all knows the formula. Sodium hydrogen carbonate or bicarbonate formula. What is the formula? NaHCO.
NaHCO3.
So what is the process we'll use to manufacture this one? What is the process? Everybody? Yesterday I taught you. What is the process we'll use to manufacture this? Yes,
Solvay process.
Solvay process, or we used to call it as manufacturing this process. We used to call it as
Soda ammonia
soda
process.
ammonia process. Am I right, everybody? Soda ammonia process. So that is what you have to remember it. Now, so let us comes to here. Okay. So soda ammonia process, if you have taken. So what is the raw materials to manufacture this one, everybody? Sodium chloride reacting with the what? Ammonia plus water plus carbon dioxide. These many things will react. So it is used to produce what? Sodium hydrogen carbonate plus we are going to get what? Ammonium chloride.
Ammonium chloride.
Who is this person that make problem? Don't speak again. If you want to speak, speak in only chat. You're having a mic problem. I'm saying keep on from last 10 days. Change your mic, otherwise you stop talking. So what is that, Amma? Baking soda, sodium hydrogen carbonate plus we are going to get what? Next, the next compound, everybody. Ammonium
chloride.
So that is what. So this is the common process. So even this the same process we will use to manufacture what? Washing soda also. But washing soda, two more steps will come. What is the two more steps will come in washing soda, everyone? We will take the baking soda and we will decompose. Am I right, everybody? Yes or no? So it will undergo the decomposition reaction. Further, we will get again unhydrated sodium carbonate. That is what we used to unhydrated sodium carbonate we used to call something. Anybody? Unhydrated
Soda
sodium
ash.
soda ash. Understand? So if you are keep on decomposing this one, we'll get unhydrated sodium carbonate. That is what we used to call as Na2CO3. So that is only we used to call as what? Everybody? Decompose.
Soda ash.
We used to call as soda ash. Understand? So this soda ash, if you add the water, what will happen? If you add 10H2O, so we are going to get what, guys? We are going to get the washing soda. Yes or no? So that is what we studied. So three steps for washing soda, only single steps for baking soda. Now, so the properties of baking soda, as we studied in last class, so many properties we studied. So the one of the main important property of what? Action of heat. That is only decomposition. So if I decompose the sodium hydrogen carbonate, so it will release what, guys? We all people knows. Yes, please. If you are heating, that is what decomposition. It will produce what? It will produce the sodium
Carbon
carbonate
dioxide.
plus carbon dioxide plus water. So that is what the action of heat. Even simply in exam, they will give you what is the action of heat of sodium hydrogen carbonate. Nothing they will explain you people. You have to imagine, you have to take it and you have to write it. Do you all understand what I'm saying? You all people should, every aspects you have to be thorough for the question. Anything they can ask you. So you have to make it. Okay. So that is what it is. So this all the things we studied. Now you can see this is the reaction where basically it takes place. You know, guys. So as we all knows, I already told you the baking soda is used in two places. Anybody? Yesterday beginning itself I told you. For what purpose? Cooking also somewhere will use. Yes. So sodium bicarbonate we used for what purpose? Everybody? Yes, please.
Fire accident.
Yeah, of course, that fire accident is okay, Hari, but cooking place I am asking. Cooking we will use in two places, I told you. Yes, please. Anybody?
So for faster cooking and in preparation of baking powder.
Baking powder. So mainly forget about the baking powder. Of course, that is one of the use. Sir, faster cooking. Now from this I will form the question. You see that we never find the question anywhere till now. Only we people can make. Sir, answer is why the baking powder, sorry, baking powder illa. It is not a baking powder. What is this actually? Baking powder. It is not a baking powder. What is this one? Baking
Soda.
Soda.
Okay. So they'll ask you, as I mentioned yesterday, you all people written. So baking soda is added for faster cooking of food, such as like I can say chana boiling, gram, like grams means chana, like chanas, any kind of things. Or you can see sometimes the chicken, if you buy in a broiler chicken or something, you might be see that some broiler chicken easily can be cooked, but some broiler chicken extremely tough. We'll say like it is old chicken in the sense of aged one. See, we are having a basically chicken is two types. One is for meat, another is one for laying the eggs. Am I right, everyone? You all people knows, correct or not? And even mutton also you see that. If you get it a young one, it will be easily cooked or boiled. But if you unfortunately got the meat which is extremely old goat or old sheep, you see that even pressure cooker, our mother is used to prefer to cook them. Is it right or wrong? Am I correct, everybody? All of you? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So by the time you can see, if you want to make them to cook faster, you people can add this baking soda, baking powder. Everybody,
Soda.
baking soda. So they will ask you the question simply. What is the importance of adding the baking soda for faster cooking? That's all. So this is the purpose. So this is the chemical reaction will takes place on heating. As I add it to the food, so for faster cooking, on heating, what is happening? We are going to get how many products? Yes, please. 3 different products. Understanding? So that is actually, you can see, will help us during the cooking of food. This above reaction only takes place when it's heating during the cooking of food. Then you can see this reaction only helping the food. The carbon dioxide which is releasing during this reaction only making the food to understanding become cooking faster. So that is why if you add this heated, it will produces basically sodium carbonate and carbon dioxide plus water. This is only makes the food to cook faster. That is the reason we are adding it. Do you all understand, everybody? So when these things will take place, it will make the food to aerate, like what we can say that expanding fast. It will create the gaps between them, aerated gaps we used to say, so that the meat and all very fast it will cook. Or else even the chana will fastly it will cook when we add baking soda. This is what the reaction will take place. Understand, everybody? Please respond. But we're having so many problems also here. So during the particularly baking soda, if you'll add it for preparation of cakes, it will be different thing, like taste and all will be different. Of course, for cooking of chana and all, fast cooking we people can add, but preparation of like we can say, what we can say, cupcakes and all, you might be see. So we people cannot prefer baking soda. So by that time, baking powder is needed, not baking soda. We have to add what, guys? We have to add the baking powder. Now keep it in mind, baking powder is not a compound. First of all, you should understand that baking powder is not a compound. Understanding? So it is a mixture. Okay. So it is a mixture of two things. So if in our home, if you are having a baking powder, so it is a mixture of two things. One is baking soda. It is a mixture of two things. One is what, guys? Baking soda plus solidified organic acid. So can you tell me what is the organic acid known to you people? Parsley, acetic acid, citric acid.
Tartaric acid.
Yeah, very good. So the most preferable acid is tartaric acid. So baking soda plus tartaric acid is together we used to call it as, what is to call everybody? It is a mixture. Understand?
Baking powder.
Baking powder. So your home, you are having a baking powder. So means in the sense of it is not a compound, it is a mixture. But as soon as if you add it to the cakes preparation and all, then the reaction will take place. Do you all understand what I am saying? Please respond, guys. Everybody?
Yes, sir.
That is what. So if you
Yes.
notice it, first thing, let us write the uses and you will understand. The first use of, what is this? Sodium hydrogen carbonate is use it as a antacid. That is the major important rule. So we are having only two antacids in class 10th to remove acidity. What is that, guys? All of you? To remove acidity, only two things we have. One is milk of magnesia and another one is what? Please learn it. Sodium hydrogen carbonate. Also we can call it as sodium hydrogen carbonate. We can call it as what? Sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate will help us to remove the acidity of the stomach. Do you all understand what I am saying? Acidity of the stomach. Clear? That is the first importance. Learn it. Each one is very important. Now, second important is the most important one. As I told you, what is the difference between baking soda and baking powder? Baking soda is the compound and baking powder is a what? Baking powder is a, yes please, mixture. Understand, Amma? So mixture means like that is what? It is not only only tartaric acid. All of you remember? Baking soda. See, for making the baking powder, we have to take what? Everybody observe. Which is a mixture of baking soda. Baking soda means what? Sodium hydrogen carbonate and a mild edible acid such as tartaric acid. Sir, is it only tartaric acid? They are mentioning here. What they mentioned here? Check it, everybody. From
Mild
any mild acid you get. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you understand, everybody? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Not only tartaric acid, alternatively we can use citric acid also. Okay, so only one thing you remember, what is the importance of acid? See that basically in our home, if we are finding a baking powder, means it is a mixture, but as soon as if you add it to the cooking when you are preparing the cake or something, then the reaction will take place. So whenever if you add it to the preparing the food or something, so what will happen? As soon as if you add, the reaction will take place. How the reaction will take place, you see here. When baking powder is heated or mixed in water, be very careful. Either we are heating or mixed in water. This is the reaction will take place. So how the reaction, you check it here. So they are mentioning here only H plus ion. Who will give the H plus ion? Acid or base? Everybody. Who will give the H plus ions? Acid or base?
Acid.
Acid.
Understand? That is what? H plus ion from what they mentioned here. From any acid.
Any
So,
acid.
but here they have taken what? Tartaric acid or citric acid. Yes or no, Mitakshri? Clear? So even I have taught you the tartaric acid and every organic acid formulas also. Am I taught you or not? Verify it. Everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
that is what. So you can write that equation fully. So what it will give, as soon as if you heated this baking powder is a mixture. If you heated or mixed in water, reaction will take place between the baking soda and edible acid. Edible acid means what, guys? Consuming. What we can eat is called as edible acid. Is it okay, everybody? Yes, Mr. Danishkar, now you inform Mr. Arun to join. He can join.
Yes, sir.
He is late. Okay. So it will react and it will produce us what? Mainly you can check it. What gas it will produce us? Everybody? Carbon, respond. Carbon dioxide. Next one, water. Water vapor only here. Oh, sorry, liquid. And it will also produce us sodium salt of acid. So that is what I'm writing Na plus. Na plus I will represent. So this is actually aqueous state. So what is this actually? Sodium salt of, respond. Sodium salt of
Acid.
salt of, yes please. I ask. Now,
Acid.
if I use here tartaric acid, understand Mr. Harish, Abhrami, here if I use a tartaric acid, then let us see what is that sodium salt of acid. Okay, so write the equation, I will teach you. So sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3. Pugal, are you writing Ra? NaHCO3 react with tartaric acid. Go back to your classwork and tell me what is the sodium carbonate, everyone. Sodium carbonate formula. Tartaric acid formula. Check in our notebook and you respond. You check it. I don't want to check it. Sodium carbonate for tartaric acid formula. I'm taking tartaric acid. Chikra, I have taught you people. C4.
C4H6O6.
Understand? So basically this acid will give you what ions? Everybody, acids will give us what ions? H plus
Yes, sir.
ions. Ellame puriyama? Understand, amma? Tartaric acid. So what are the products will expected? What are the products expected? Carbon dioxide plus water plus, what is the salt they mentioned here? Respond. Sodium salt of acid. Okay. So can anybody guess what is the sodium salt of acid? Sodium. What is the salt of acid? What is the acid we have? You can take citric acid or tartaric acid. So I took the tartaric acid. So that what will happen? Tartarate will come. Sodium tartarate. What it will come? Everybody? Sodium tartarate. Okay. Sodium tartarate will come. So that is the formula. NaC4H4O6. So this is the sodium tartarate formula. Anybody having any problem? You can ask. Is it okay, guys? Do you all able to understand?
Yes, sir.
So if I use here instead of tartaric acid, if I use citric acid, I will get here sodium citrate. Clear? If I use another acid, another thing. So that is why I'm saying a mild edible acid. They are not saying only tartaric acid, but according to your book, what acid reaction we have? It is the tartaric acid. But they are saying what? From any acid, you can take any mild edible acid, the same reaction will take place. Is it okay, guys? Do you understand what I'm saying? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
So, sir, why, sir? We should use only baking powder for the making of cakes and all. How many of you know cupcakes? Have you all used to prefer to eat cupcakes? Am I right? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if this is the size of the cup, have you noticed it? The cake will be exposed to outside. This much it will be. I mean, notice, do you all experience it or not? It will be coming outside almost.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And you can see that. If you prefer to cook the cake, girls, have you all anybody tried to prepare the cake in our home?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You might be see that it won't be much soft like bakeries or somewhere cake point or something. Am I right, girls? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And it won't be like a spongy. It won't be like a soft and spongy. Do you check it, everybody? Girls or boys also? Anybody tried? Your mother? So
I
because,
tried, sir.
yes,
Yes,
if you
sir.
have tried also, observe very carefully. Our home, you might be not having a baking powder. Most probably will be having a baking soda. Understand? So baking soda, if you'll add, be very careful. if I add baking soda to these cakes or whatever it is to preparation, the baking soda will undergoes the heating and it will produce a products called as, what is the products it will produce? Sodium carbonate plus carbon dioxide plus what it will produce? Everybody, it will produce
Water.
water. Understand? So do you all remember that? All of you. Here also carbon dioxide is producing. Who makes the cake spongy and fluffy? Everybody. Who makes the duff? Have you noticed that our batter, idli batter or dosa batter, whatever it is, it will turns into spongy if you expose to the surroundings by one day. Am I right or wrong? Everybody, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Guys. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
To get a soft idli, very fluffy and soft idli, you can see your mother will add little soda. Am I correct? Everybody? Those are preparation time also you can check it. So basically it's not a soda. They will add baking powder. So what is the reason? Baking powder will react. It will produce us. Reaction can cause bread or cake to rise, making them soft and spongy. So who is making that bread or cakes, everything sponge and fluffy? Everybody?
Baking powder.
Baking powder not. What is that? What is that?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. Understand, Mr. Vijay? The cupcake is exposed more. Understanding? The size is increasing. It is becoming fluffy and spongy. Very, very soft to touch because of carbon dioxide. But both the cases carbon dioxide is coming. Then what makes baking powder instead of baking soda? That is very important. Do you all understand what I am saying? So both cases carbon dioxide is releasing. Both can make the cake into fluffy and both can make it into the soft. But why we are using baking soda, baking powder instead of baking soda? Yes, see, one more having spontaneity. Sir, if you are having a baking soda, if you don't have baking powder, you can add the lemon. See that. That is a spontaneity. Why lemon we can add? Anybody? Real life application.
Citric acid.
It is having a citric acid. Do you all understand? Sir, what is the reason why we are using baking powder instead of baking soda? If you use a baking powder, together we used to call baking powder, we are getting a salt of sodium that is called as what salt it is? Everybody. Some salt will come. Understand? So that is what sodium plus. So it is a sodium salt of acid, which will add the pleasant smell. Be very careful. Which will add actually the flavor to the cake because we are mixing. It is coming from the acid. The salt is coming from where? Salt is coming from where? Acid. So, which will add the pleasant or good taste to the cake or whatever the food. But if you add sodium hydroxide, hydrogen carbonate, that is what baking soda alone, it is used to produce something. What it is producing extra, you all people can notice it. What it is producing? Soda. Or we can call it as sodium carbonate. Basically, it is bitter in taste. What is the taste of it? Everyone? It is bitter in taste. That is why our cakes also become bitter. It is not prefer or it is not good to, you are not feeling good to eat it. That is the reason to avoid this bitter taste. We are preferring what, guys? Instead of baking soda, we are preferring what, everybody? Baking powder. So who makes the food to good in taste? Who is making the taste? Acid. Making that acid. Do you all understand, Amma? So the citric acid or tartaric acid, whatever it is, they will react with this sodium carbonate. Understanding? And they will form the salt. What is the salt they will form? Here he mentioned. What is the salt they will form, guys? Sodium salt of acid. Understanding? Which is not bitter in taste, rather than it will provide what taste? Rather than it will provide the, everybody, good taste or pleasant, and it will add flavor in the sense of the smell. It will add it to that. So that is the reason. I hope you all understand what is the importance of adding baking powder instead of baking soda? Yes or no? Everybody? Yes. So who makes the cupcake or whatever the cake spongy and soft? Fluffy. Fluffy also you can use it. Fluffy or soft or spongy. Who makes? Both can make. Baking soda also can make. Baking powder also can make. Because who is the cause? Who is the main cause for making the soft and spongy?
Carbon dioxide.
Understanding? So carbon dioxide will make it. But baking soda will produce us the sodium carbonate, which is actually, what is the taste of it? Bitter in taste. And it will give the bitter taste to the cakes. Do you all understand, Amma, what I'm saying? It will give the bitter taste to the cakes. But if I add baking powder contains somebody. Who is containing baking powder?
Acids.
Acids. What acid? It may be edible acid, eatable acid. Understanding? You should not add sulfuric acid. Is it possible to add sulfuric acid? Sulfuric acid is the eatable acid?
No, sir.
No, that is what? Organic acids are the eatable acids. Understand, Mr. Arvignesh? Vijay? Yes? Mr. Noor? That is what
Yes,
we
sir.
have.
Yes, sir.
Organic acid. So that what is happening? This acid is reacting with whom, guys? This acid is internal reaction. Acid is reacting with the sodium carbonate and it is forming the what? It is forming the salt of sodium, sodium salt of acid, and this is actually not a bitter taste. It is a good taste and it will add flavor to the taste, flavor and as well as good taste to the cake. Do you understand, Amma? Please respond, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is the importance of baking powder. I hope you all understood. Anybody having any doubt, please kindly let me know. Understand, Hasini, Abhirami, Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Very, very important this one. So, Ms. Harijeras, clear everything? What is the difference between baking soda and baking powder?
Yes, sir.
Baking powder is not a compound. Baking powder is a what, guys? Mixture. Only when you dissolved in water, only if you are heated, only the reaction will take place. Clear, everybody? A solidified acid will be there. Okay, guys? Yes. So you
Yes,
can
sir.
write here two equations. First equation, you write this one from your book. And below, you write this example. Instead of tartaric acid, you can use normal any edible acid. That is what you have to remember. I hope you all understand. So here sodium salt of acid, you put Na plus. Na plus. So what is the salt name? You can take sodium tartarate salt. If you use tartaric acid, what is the salt will come? Sodium. Okay, put here. Generally, we will add our real life application. See, as Omar said, tartaric acid availability kadayadu. What is the popular acid we will be getting? We are getting
Citric
okay.
acid.
That is what. Simply you put it Na plus. Na plus it is aqueous state. So Na plus means what? Sodium salt of acid. So that salt example, if you want, you can write this one. Sodium tartrate. Okay, Harish. Mr. Arun and Kaushik. Class is by 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Tomorrow onwards, I'll log the meeting by 5:05. Very, very serious. Unless you realize you can. Otherwise, don't come. Whomever it is who joined late. Many people join. Mr. You also, Harish Jairas, be on time. Very, very strict. If those who are far from me, you have to work more sincere than me. That is what is expecting. Each and everyone be very sincere. That is what. Finish it, everybody. You write it.
Sir.
If you're having any problem, you can ask. Who makes the cake soft and spongy? Whose responsibility it is?
Sir, doubt, sir.
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. That is the things. Who makes the bitter taste? Cakes. Bitter in taste. Who makes the cakes bitter?
Soda.
Baking soda.
Sodium carbonate.
Baking soda. Baking soda. You should remember. In that internally, who forms? They will ask you, who is causing?
Soda.
Yeah, soda ash means when the baking soda undergoes heating, it will produce a soda ash, sodium carbonate, which is causing the bitter in taste. You should say. Purima. Then, how to avoid that bitter taste? Then we have to add, instead of baking soda, we have to add what, guys? Baking powder. Then the acid present in the baking powder will react with the sodium carbonate and add flavor and good taste to the cake. That is what you have to have. Okay. Now somebody asked a doubt. Who is that? I want to know. Somebody is having doubt.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, it's the given on example you gave right, sir.
What?
Sir, on example you gave right, sir. Up
Yes.
that yes, sir, this that equation is balanced.
You balance it, Omar. I might be forgot it. You balance it. What else is you want?
Okay, sir.
If it is already balanced, you check it. Am I right or wrong? Verify
No,
it.
sir, hydrogen is not balanced, sir.
Hydrogen is not balanced.